What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, and I am still your current WWE pay-per-view champion, longest reign. Um, Christian and I made our predictions before Crown Jewel, and we'll be going over those predictions and the results of Crown Jewel. And I'm joined by my own Hot Commodity.
What's up?
Did you not know that was you?
Usually kicks off.
Uh,
I didn't know why you stopped.
well, I was trying to introduce you. I was waiting for you to say hi to everyone.
Hi, everybody.
What's your name?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm the one.
the other one. Did you enjoy Crown Jewel overall?
Yeah, I thought it was one of the better pay-per-views that they've had in a while, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a house show, but it's pretty.
See, I kind of felt like it was. There was only a couple matches that I popped for. And it's funny that you mentioned the house show
I,
because
I thought it was like that.
I don't normally agree with Dave Meltzer when it comes to like his thoughts on like what matches are good or what matches are bad and like his different ratings and stuff. But he did say that he felt like in the opening match between the Bloodline and Roman and the Usos, and we'll talk about it. He said that he felt like Jacob Fatu was the only one that didn't seem like he was putting on a house show in terms of that. Like, they're really, I get what he's saying. Nothing that we saw from Crown Jewel leads us to anything else or makes us feel differently about any of the wrestlers. Jacob Fatu hasn't been on there long, but he's still doing things that these guys aren't doing. Now, I didn't see a lot of Jacob Fatu in this match, but I do think he does stand out. Um, but we'll talk about that when we cover the match. But do you think that this you didn't feel like it was a house show that they really thought it was like a
Well, I thought it was better than that. I thought that was
okay, okay.
but I don't think Jacob Buckley should have that.
Another fact about this, so I don't know who does this, but some guy or girl, they what they do is like they tally up the minutes in between like every match. And they said that like 50% of the show was commercials and that it was like an hour and something of commercials.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I'm gonna be 100 by the time we get to the main event. The last couple of pay-per-views, I don't pay attention to the main events, even this one, because it's just like nonstop commercial after commercial after commercial. And then you're just like, I don't even care because you have to wait like literally they spent an hour and 20 something minutes on commercials for a 3 hour show. They could have had three more matches, but instead they have to have a commercial about, oh, these people are here, or it just, I feel like,
Well, it's not even commercials. It's they play. They show you the whole story.
but that's fine because that's what you expect. Those whole stories are like a minute. It's not just that. Then they promote Shop Zone, they promote where they are, they promote WrestleMania, they promote the next pay per view, they promote NXT. It's like non fucking stop. It's like, can we just get the fucking matches? I feel like, maybe I'm just biased and crazy here, but I just feel like it's becoming a bit too much about the sponsors, like this whole Netflix thing. It's like leading up to it. There's only the Raws that have been on here very shitty in my opinion, and it's like, for what were we excited for? Like, ooh, it's gonna be back 3 hours, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be good. I thought it was gonna be good when it was gonna be 2 hours. So I thought, okay, they're gonna get rid of the bullshit and keep, the important things. We haven't seen a lot of wrestlers in a while. There's been a lot of like, and again, we're seeing Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser for like the sixth time last week on Raw. Like, why do we need that? I just feel like, but the action's good. But do you feel like that? Do you feel like the breaks kind of take you out of it, or are you able?
Yeah.
I feel like by the time we got to Cody and Gunther, I just did not care, and that was like a match that I was looking forward to. But I was just like, damn. But let's cover the show. We start off Crown Jewel live in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We have the Bloodline with Tonga Loa taking on the Usos and the OTC Roman Reigns. The Usos land double clotheslines to Tama Tonga on the floor. Jacob Fatu hits Jey Uso with a Samoan drop and a flying senton. Solo hits Roman with a Samoan spike, but Roman kicks out. Roman nails a Superman punch to Solo. And then Roman tosses Tonga into the ring and he accidentally hits the referee. Jacob lands a moonsault to Roman and then he dives onto the Usos on the floor. And then Solo hits two Samoan spikes to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline get the victory here. After the Bloodline attack, all three members of the original Bloodline and they put a chair across Jey Uso's neck. That's when Sami Zayn runs out. He goes to hug Solo, but hits him with an exploder. And then the OG Bloodline and Sammy attack. Um, Solo is cornered by Sami Zayn, the Usos, and Roman. But then Sammy accidentally hits a Helluva Kick to Roman, and Solo is able to escape. So, what did you think of the match? And I knew Sammy was not gonna go with this bloodline on Raw. It looked like he was talking to Solo and he was going to join them. I predicted he wasn't. Uh, I knew that the new bloodline was going to win, and Carl and Christian did as well. We both got 10 points for that. But what do you
Well, they
think?
gotta win because the OG bloodline needs to be victorious at Survivor Series.
Okay.
Or,
Yeah, you got to make them look. Also, you want to make these
I mean, if
guys
they
look as
won
strong.
now, who would care if they won at 4 games?
I agree.
So
I do agree. I initially was going with the OG bloodline, and then Christian was able to kind of like
yeah, no,
convince
I
me
kind of
different.
figured.
And what do you think about Sammy accidentally hitting Roman? Do you think, I mean, obviously this is going to lead to repercussions, and I think they're going to have the War Games match, but I don't know. I don't want to see, did you really mean to hit me? I didn't mean to. I promise I'm with you. And then weeks of speculating if Sammy, it's like, I don't want to see all that. Either Sammy is with them or not. It's like, like who fucking cares? Yeah, Sammy really meant to hit you. He fucking went after Solo. But what do you think?
I agree. I think that might happen. He might even end up turning. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
turn bad, but it's dumb. Obviously,
Yeah. Next up, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, a fatal four-way match here. The champions Jade, Cargill, and Bianca Belair defending against Damage Control, Metaphor, and the team of Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Jakara Jackson lands a reverse X Factor to Chelsea Green. Piper Niven lands a flying crossbody to Io Sky, then a sit-out powerbomb to Kairi Sane. Jade Cargill lands a big boot to Lash Legend. And then Piper Niven takes out both Lash and Jade with a crossbody. Chelsea climbs the ropes, but she's too afraid to like jump off. So Kyrie hits an insane elbow to both Piper and Chelsea on the floor, and then Io lands a flying moonsault. Jade hits Jade on Chelsea Green, but Damage Control break it up. Jade then hits Chelsea, and Piper Niven accidentally hits Chelsea Green with a Bayer bomb, and Jade Cargill has Piper Niven up on her shoulders. And I call this team Black Girl Magic. They land a Doomsday device, and Jade and Bianca retain. I knew they were going to win. I got 10 points. Christian thought Damage Control was going to win. But my question for you is which team stood out the most to you in this fatal four?
Well, the NXT team definitely stood out.
Yeah, Metaphor. Yeah.
Damage Control is starting to be like that, which is and I really like Chelsea and Pike.
Yeah.
I could see them beat you. So I think everybody did pretty good at this.
I thought this was a decent match. I would go back and watch this match, surprisingly. For me, I agree. I think Metaphor stood out because it's the first time being on a pay-per-view, like a WWE pay-per-view. And Lash and Jade are like the same size, so it's like seeing them go out. It's kind of cool. Also, when Lash Legend was in NXT and Jade was in AEW, they made those comparisons a lot. So it's finally cool to see them go at it. But how much longer? Every time we do predictions, Christian always says that Bianca and Jade are going to break up. He thought they were going to break up at Crown Jewel. When do you think it's going to happen? I think we're going to wait till Mania. I think we got a couple more.
I think close. I would just say close to Mania. Maybe a little before. I could see like elimination.
Okay. And my last question is, who do you think out of these three teams should be the next to challenge for the titles? If you had to pick out of these teams.
Well, we just saw last year.
I want to see them again.
So,
damage control. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Seth Rollins taking on Bronson Reed, and these two meet at the ramp and start brawling at the start. Bronson splashes Seth in the corner, lands a clothesline. He lands a tsunami, but misses a second one. Seth hits a stomp for a 2. Seth hits a DDT and a frog splash for a 1 count. Bronson lands a superplex for a 2. Bronson then grabs his ring steps, but Seth Rollins ends up stomping Bronson Reed onto the steps. And then Seth lands a super stomp, and Bronson Reed bleeding, and Seth Rollins gets the win. Afterwards, though, Bronson Reed gets back to his feet. Both Christian and I thought that Rollins was going to win here, so we both get 10 points. Do you think this is over between Seth and Bronson, and what did you think of the match? Because Bronson got up afterwards.
It was an okay match. It was pretty good, but I kind of hope it's over. I don't really want to see him fight again.
I do like Bronson Reed as a big guy. You know, he is. Sometimes he can be boring when I see him, but he actually had a good match with.
No, they did.
Seth.
I don't know. Sometimes they kill it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should be bosom buddy tag team next week, but
you don't want to see them fight. You rather see them fight other people. I get it. Well, we have our.
And it's like it means nothing for Seth Rollins. Besides the fact that like he already showed he can beat a monster, like Seth should be going after.
I agree. I think it's more for Bronson Reed because he was saying going into this, the way for me to get a title shot is to beat someone like Seth. Pretty much, yeah. What do you think is next though for Bronson? If he doesn't fight against Seth, you said Seth gets gold.
I can see Bronson going after
Braun Breaker. I have a theory, and it's probably not going to happen, but I feel like Brock might come back and fight Seth because Seth keeps talking about how he's beaten the Beast, or he conquered the Beast. He beat the King of Kings. Now he's hunting a monster. What if it leads to? I mean, not even like Seth, but what if this whole monster, like, you know, big tough guy leads to Brock Lesnar coming back and being like,
that would be.
I wouldn't want to see Brock and Bronson, but I mean, if you know,
a lot of people want to see Brock and Braun Breaker.
Brock and Braun Breaker. Why?
That's like one of the dream matches people say.
Really?
Because Braun Breaker's like supposed to be like, you know, unstoppable.
Yeah, but
I mean, he did get beat by Cena.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have. But to be fair, I mean, Cody Rhodes beat Brock, and you know, look how many people beat Cody.
Yeah, and, I would totally like to see that.
Yeah. Again, yep. All right, moving on. We have the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. The WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax taking on WWE World Women's Champion Liv Morgan. The winner will be the first ever Women's Crown Jewel Champion. And Nia Jax lands a Samoan drop and a hip attack in the corner. Liv Morgan then hits a sunset flip power bomb. Tiffany Stratton comes out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Nia confronts her. Liv hits Nia with a crucifix bomb for a 2. Raquel Rodriguez then comes out and grabs Tiffany's briefcase. Liv hits a code breaker to Nia for a 2. Raquel and Tiffany Stratton Raquel and Liv confront Nia. Nia hits both of them and then lands a leg drop to Liv. Dominic Mysterio comes out, distracts the referee, which allows Raquel Rodriguez to kick Nia Jax off the top rope. And Liv hits Oblivion, and Liv Morgan is the new Crown Jewel champion, the women's first ever. And Triple H celebrates with her with a Crown Jewel title.
We don't see Tiffany touch Nia.
No. Yeah, they're still playing the game of what is she doing. So, uh, both Christian and I knew that Liv was going to win this one. But what do you think? Did you think the right person won? And what do you think is going to be next for these two? Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And I knew it was going to happen. I don't, but see, this is a part of the reason why I don't like these shows is because there's no storyline now. It's like, I mean, it's good because then there's new, fresh storylines, but I like pay-per-views to have a purpose. It's kind of like the King of the Ring. It's like there's a tournament and then that's it. And then the person's King of the Ring and then they don't ever talk about it again. Like it makes no real. They're supposed to be saying she's going to come home with like a Super Bowl type ring, but does anyone really care or want that? You know, kind of like in AEW, MJF has a dynamite diamond ring, but at least with that ring, you get like a title shot if you have it. Whereas with this, it's like, oh, I'm the crown jewel champion now. It's just Saudi Arabians can look at it. Like, it's like, what's the point? But
Well, I think the point is that once a year we get the champion.
yeah, I get that, but maybe it's just this storyline wasn't good. It's just like, for example, they did that with Raw and SmackDown with Survivor Series, and it used to be cool because SmackDown wrestlers would just invade Raw, like they'd come out in a group.
Yeah.
NXT, when NXT did, I think it was 2019 for Survivor Series, it was Raw, SmackDown, it was Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. And the NXT people just showed up and destroyed everybody. I think the problem here is that, yeah, Liv and Nia interfered with each other's matches, but there wasn't long enough time for any story to be made aside
from also the first year. So
yeah, maybe they'll give it more. I don't know. I just think again, this is just
it's got the fact that champion has to fight champion from now on once a year could be mean like they pay for starting.
true, but we could say that about the past Survivor Series when it was every match was champion versus champion. But I get what you're saying. Honestly,
fucking right on my.
No, here, let me just say this. This is more for WWE to make money in Saudi Arabia. This pay-per-view is not for the fans. It was for Saudi Arabians to see their wrestlers and to get a ring showcased in their WWE World thing that they've got there. There's, even the next.
They make sick money.
Yeah.
They make like what they do all year in one night.
And the perfect example is this next match we're going to talk about: Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Kevin comes out wearing a Cowboy Bob Orton t-shirt. Owens attacks Randy before the bell and attacks his knee with a steel chair. Randy back suplexes Kevin Owens onto the announce table. Owens then hits a stunner on the referee. Randy Orton back suplexes Kevin Owens onto the announce table. Randy Orton then hits Adam Pearce with an RKO. Orton and Owens fight in the crowd, and then Kevin hits Randy with a metal briefcase. And Orton falls on a table, and Owens climbs the top of like a crate and jumps off with a flying elbow to Randy Orton through the table. Christian and I both thought that Owens was going to win, but there was no match. Perfect example of, what was the point of this? There was no match. This wasn't even a match. The bell didn't even ring. And so it's like, you set up this big storyline,
so
and
now they're gonna drag it out.
Yeah, this show is literally for Saudi Arabians. Like, oh, I saw Randy Orton, literally, because there's no storyline. Now, I mean, there is a storyline, but you could have done this on SmackDown. This whole thing that they did, they could have had a fight and then at Survivor.
I don't understand why they did.
So that the Saudi Arabians could see them do it on their show because they're in Saudi Arabia and they never get to see them. Oh, you're asking why? I thought you were asking why they didn't have them fight like this on SmackDown. Right. You're asking why they didn't give them the match. Like you said, because they want to build towards something else. So you take a crappy pay-per-view that's not going to matter. Give those Saudi Arabians fans are going to be happy with fucking shit because they don't ever get to see these guys. If that happened at like a US pay-per-view, like a Survivor Series, fans would be pissed because what's the point? Anyways, moving on. But what'd you think of that? Did you think it was stupid that they just had a brawl, or yeah? All right, moving on. We have WWE United States Champion LA Knight defend.
Neither one of them really like that. They
No.
were both like walk back.
Yeah. 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 Again, just a pay-per-view to help get more eyes onto the next one, which is what they're supposed to do. But so yes, we have United States Champion LA Knight defending against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes in a triple threat match. LA Knight attacks both men and both men hit LA Knight with a double super kick. LA lands a DDT to Carmelo Hayes for a 1. Andrade hits Carmelo with a springboard Spanish fly for a 2. And then Andrade turns to LA Knight and hits a moonsault on the floor. Andrade hits a destroyer to Carmelo Hayes. And then Andrade hits a fallaway slam from the top rope to Carmelo Hayes for a 2. LA hits a double flying elbow drop for a 2. Carmelo Hayes hits LA Knight with nothing but net, but Andrade breaks up the pin, and then LA Knight lays out Carmelo Hayes with BFT, and LA Knight retains the championship. Both Christian and I thought LA Knight was going to win, so he gets 10 points. You said you're over this, so what's next for LA Knight? Do you think we're going to see more of Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, or
seeing Andrade and Carmelo?
okay?
I don't like Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
He can do some cool stuff, but he's boring.
Okay. Carmelo Hayes, you feel like? See, I thought this was a good match. Surprising.
Good luck. I just don't want
Seeing the Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. And what do you think is next then for LA Knight? Like, who can be his next? Yeah. And, you know,
probably more.
I feel like it would have been a bit better if one of them were to win the title because then it would make sense. They fought for 7 weeks. They fought for 7 weeks for nothing. It's like you both lost. Now, what was the point of that?
And also, neither one of them got one up on the other because it was 6 weeks, 3 and 3. The 7th week was the pay-per-view, so neither one of them got one up on the other.
Well, no, the 7th week LA Knight attacked both of them. Okay, remember?
So again, right.
Yes, you're right.
Neither
so none of them. Exactly. So they're going to do it again. Yeah. And then that person's going to fight LA Knight months. Yeah. Yeah. And that's my point. It's all about the sponsors now. It's not about like the content and what they're giving us. It's about what can we fill the time with and make produce the sponsors happen. Because who really, I mean, I personally like Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. If they didn't fight 7 times, I would be interested. But because they've done it so long,
that's what I'm saying. I like
them. Yeah, it's just, yeah. It would be like seeing Undertaker and Kane every month. Like, they have good matches together, but at some point they need to be separated, which they did. All right, we're moving to our main event, the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. WWE Champion Cody Rhodes taking on World Champion Gunther.
I felt like I didn't even. I knew 100,000%.
Well, you're surprised. You're gonna be surprised by me because I thought Gunther was gonna win. Really? I picked Gunther. I thought Gunther was gonna win. The reason why I thought Gunther was going to win, and I'm stupid because WWE doesn't care about stories. I thought they would have had Kevin Owens come in and fuck Rhodes up, ruin the match for him, so that then you could get Owens and Cody for Survivor Series.
And Gunther almost even like without like breaking kayfabe, he said something about the Golden Boy getting.
Oh yeah, and they also I didn't see it happen. I'm not sure if you did, but when they were promoting the the post show, there was a picture of Cody with the Crown Jewel Championship right before the match happened. So WWE spoiled it by accident. It said it was like immediately following, and it showed Cody with 2 titles and like all the wrestlers around him. So the match starts with back and forth submissions by both men. Cody lands.
They did that on SmackDown like a week or 2 ago too. They showed somebody as the winner.
Yeah,
right.
They keep fucking up. Cody lands a power slam to Gunther and then a Cody cutter for a 2. Gunther applies a sleeper and a German suplex. Cody hits a crossroads. Gunther chops Cody. Cody asks for more chops. Cody lands a back suplex and a crossroads for a 2. Gunther applies a sleeper, and then Cody Rhodes just falls back, rolls up Gunther, and WWE Champion Cody Rhodes is the first ever Men's Crown Jewel Champion.
I mean, think about the women. Who was the king of the ring? Nia. They're not going to give the same.
I know, but
Gunther was the king of it.
I thought about it. like I should have went about it your way of like, duh, the golden boy, they're gonna give it to him. But I thought about it as, you know, a way to make Gunther more dominant, to make Cody, because Cody doesn't need everything. Does he really need to be crown jewel champion? He's already like he's everywhere. But after the match, Gunther shakes hands with Cody, and then Triple H gives Cody Rhodes the crown jewel championship, and both Cody and Liv Morgan celebrate with their titles to end the show. You kind of said it, the Golden Boy wins, but what's next now, do you think, for both of these guys? We have tonight on Raw the Fatal 4-Way. The winner takes on Gunther. I think Dominic's in it, a bunch of other people are in it. So we know that.
I think
Dominic's going to win. And then what about Cody? You think it's going to be Owens? I really hope Cody doesn't get involved in the Bloodline storyline for War Games. If he is, I'm just going to be like, I'm not. I'll watch it, but I'm not going to care. I don't want to see Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and the Usos versus no. Let Kevin Owens fuck him up, and then have Owens fight Cody Rhodes. That's what I want. But we've covered all of Crown Jewel. Christian and I tied 50-50, but
Champion's advantage,
I guess. The next pay-per-view we'll be covering should be Full Gear, which is the AEW, and then we've got Survivor Series 4 games, Saturday night's main event, and then Royal Rumble is in February next year. So I'm excited for that. But with that, make sure you check us out on Spotify.
There's 4 people in the new Bloodline. So
you have to have one more member.
The other side just needs Sami Zayn.
But what I'm saying is, I hope that's what I think they're going to do. But because Cody is Golden Boy, and he fought Roman at WrestleMania, he teamed with him here. I hope not.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to be Sami, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I would even wonder if it could be like a Paul Heyman person. That's what a lot of people thought. Either Brock or CM Punk, because to come back from Paul Heyman. But I'm thinking we're probably going to see Paul Heyman next.
See, I would like. Can I tell you what I would like to see? Brock come back, and then have him team with Roman and them. And then once they finished off this new bloodline, Roman and Brock. Okay, I mean, we've seen that mad times, but
it would be something new besides Roman and
or CM Punk and Roman. Yeah. Well, with that, we've covered all of Crown Jewel. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Leave a comment to let us know your thoughts on Crown Jewel. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.